some point, Chris, we have to focus on the real scandal, which is 3 years of deep state sabotage.
Okay. And it's got to be frustrating for the president because people in his own midst seem to be very comfortable turning on him. And if you felt that conversation wasn't appropriate, why don't you become the whistleblower? Why are you somebody that goes and whispers into it, according to the New York Times, is a CIA male, and whisper to him, and he says 5 or 6 other people heard the call and were disturbed by it, and the president's actions of putting it into a secure server is something to prove that even the president's people knew it was wrong. No, there's another counter narrative to that, and if Adam Schiff wanted to be fair, and he doesn't, he would have said, I could also understand the president feeling a little insecure about his phone calls because so many have been shared from Vladimir Putin to the Philippine leader, to the Australian leader, to Theresa May, and of course, the Mexican leader.
But what brought things different, changed the component was that the conversation the president had was stored in a super secret, separate computer, and that's where they put the Putin conversation, which was a couple of days later, and I believe a Saudi Arabian leader conversation as well. And so that's why Democrats now want to look at those conversations because it was all placed in that super secret Gizmo computer.
A repository is what they're calling. Yeah.
Was trying to keep everybody's eyes away from it.
The answer's got to be no. For future presidents, this, you could say the president did the wrong thing, let it out, but he wants to be transparent and say, I don't see any problem with the Ukrainian call. But if you go and let out all these, think about the rest of the world. The Saudi Arabian king is maybe talking freely with the president of the United States, as in Vladimir Putin, whatever you think of him, and probably not great things if you're like most Americans. You think you have to secure a conversation. Let's get the follow-up to the Medvedev. I can't wait to tell Vladimir I don't have any more elections. Can we get the follow-up conversation that Vladimir had with Barack?
That opens up a whole can of worms. They will not do that. They can't do that. Adam Schiff now wants to hear every conversation the president's had with world leaders.
Just wait. I mean, he hasn't actually said that yet, but he'll get there.
But the reason I think the president probably released it, and we learned over the weekend that Mitch McConnell suggested that they release it, was that he felt like what was out in the public about the conversation was so different than what happened. And when we saw, there was no clear quid pro quo there. Dan Bongino says the fact that the White House did release it could be a problem down the road.